Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday morning to you. My name is Brian K. McNeill, and I am a sales confidence expert. I want to tell you about a story from my career. I started my career in the early 1990s as a straight commissioned salesperson. So I've been doing this work for over 30 years, over 35 years actually, helping people to sell better. I started out as a regular salesperson and I started reading books on sales, and I got really, really good at it. I became a sales champion, I became a sales manager, and I was still managing people while I was still making sales. And there was this one particular time in the 90s when I was really, really hot. I was selling everything. I was selling for a home improvement company, and we operated on a one call close system. That means you got one shot to make the sale. So, and it was, not often you're going to ask someone for more than $8,000 on the first night you meet them and you make a sale. Meet them and make a sale. And I was really, really good at it. And I think I was on a hot streak of like 10 in a row, 10 times in a row where I had done a presentation and they said yes to me. And the owner of the company could not believe Brian McNeill's numbers. How come Brian McNeill is outselling everyone else by such a vast margin? Why does he have way more sales than everybody else? So the owner of the company, we had 17 offices, and he decides he wants to come and ride with me on an actual sales call. We had our sales in the client's homes, in the customer's homes. We'd go, it was in-home sales. We used to go to their house to make a sale there because it was home improvement. So the night came, I got my boss in the car with me. We go on a sales call, and it was the worst situation imaginable. It was a younger couple that we typically want to see because young couples want to move a lot. We want to see a couple that's more established. But they were younger. They didn't like their neighborhood. Why would you fix up a house in a neighborhood that you don't like? They didn't like their neighbors. They didn't really, and they had a big tree in their front yard with roots that jutted out through the ground. And the wife was afraid of the tree. She just had this thought that one day a storm is going to come, and that giant tree is going to knock over their house. So they didn't like the neighborhood. They didn't like the house. They didn't like the tree, and they told me up front, we hate it here. We're not going to fix this house up. And I heard it. I got my boss with me, and we exchanged pleasantries, and I do my normal presentation. And they're making snipes throughout. Yeah, we're not even gonna stay in this house. We're not gonna fix it up. And I hear them, but I was choosing not to acknowledge it. I just did my job. So I took them around the house and looked at what needed to be done, measured it out, and they were making little snipes. And got down to the end. I priced the whole job out, and I presented the rates to them. And I said to them, which way do you want to go? Do you want to put this much up front or that much up front, or which way you want to do it? And they chose one of the payment options. They chose the term option. And I said, great, the only thing I need from you now, I need your check stubs, and I need some information from you, and I need one of you to write me a check. And they got up, the husband and wife scattered and got the stuff. And I finished up the sale. I asked them why they decided to buy and all that kind of stuff. And everything was good. And we get the sale, and we go to the car, and I get in my car, and my boss is with me, and he's in the passenger seat. We drive down the block. About a block down the road, he explodes. How in the hell did you make a sale there? There was no sale there. How in the hell did you make a sale there? Because they hated everything. There was no way that was going to be a sale. How did that happen? And I explained to him, I just followed the steps of the sale. I had resolved long ago not to ever cut corners. I followed all my steps. And someone less experienced might have heard them up front saying, we hate it here, we hate this, and took that as, okay, there's no sale. It didn't matter to me if they didn't want to buy or not. What mattered to me was that I was not going to shortcut my process. So I just did my process. I didn't judge it. I didn't decide if they have money or not. I didn't pre-qualify them in the negative. I heard what they said, but it was not a part of my process yet. So I didn't have to make it real. I didn't even think of it as real. I just followed my steps in a disciplined way, and a sale that someone else would thought there was no sale there, I got because I was committed to the system. I was committed to my process. And I will say to you, entrepreneurs and salespeople, systems are more profitable than skills. If you don't have a sales system, get one. And I can recommend some. I can teach you mine. But that's one of the great stories of my career that illustrate just by following your steps. It's okay. It's okay if a client chooses not to buy from me. It is not okay for me not to do my very best on every sales call. So that's the title of this story is how the hell did you get that sale? That's how. I follow the system to the letter without deviation, without shortcoming, and shortcutting it at all. Thanks a lot.